From the Horn Auto Center Studios, Chris Bennett and the Morning Brew.
Good morning, Jineane.
Hi there. How are you holding up?
Oh, I'm getting more and more emotional. Tomorrow is my daughter's wedding. I'm officiating the wedding.
Yeah.
And I just hope I don't mess it up. My biggest fear, Jineane, is I know I'm going to cry, and that's that's to be expected. But my biggest fear is that I'm going to make some type of clerical error, and the wedding is not going to be official.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So but I've crossed all my T's and dotted all my I's.
And you've been practicing. Yes.
Yes, I've been practicing. And
I got to tell you, when this is all over with and stuff like that, you're going to sleep like for 3 days, I think. You're going to be so exhausted emotionally.
Yeah, it's been a crazy month with prison show last week and my daughter's wedding tomorrow. It has been an emotionally exhausting month. But how about we have a little fun with some relationship advice on this Thursday morning?
Let's do it.
All right, here's the story. Hello. I've been debating on posting this for the world to see, but I don't really know who to talk to about this situation. My teenage daughter, 18, has found herself a boyfriend who is 51. My husband and I do not support this at all, to the point where she moved out and is living with him now. He is older than both of us, and we are worried for her, but she and local authorities say it's none of our business now. Has anyone experienced this, and how do you deal with this? On top of being an empty nester now, this... The way this has all come to be is so sporadic and bizarre, and I'm very depressed, and I just don't know how to accept this. It's been 2 months since she left. Help, please, with thoughts, advice, literally anything you can tell me about this would be greatly appreciated.
I think the parents need some help, because here's the thing. She's 18, and you mentioned that the local authorities, they've already called local authorities. All they're going to do is the daughter will dig in. Usually, some of these things like that is if you ignore them. She is an adult. If you ignore them and you say, honey, we love you, we don't really approve of this, but take the classy way, but don't call local authorities and do all this stuff that's just going to ruin. And because the daughter, they're very defiant when they're young, and she will just dig in. She might, and that's maybe what she's doing. Right. She needs to make her own mistakes. She's 18 years old. So I suggest the mother and the dad, maybe they go and they talk to somebody, their church leaders, or get some counseling to chill out on this. They've got to not think of, running her life. Right. And running her away from them. And she's going to dig in, and I'm going to do what I want to do. You follow me? That's right. What she's might be doing right now. Let her do this and just say, hey, you might be making a mistake. We love you. How you doing? You want to have lunch? They kind of have to ignore it a little bit. Just ignore it and don't stress.
Yeah, for the hardest part of being a parent, I think, is when your kids are no longer kids and they're adults and they're able to make their own decisions. And you might not always agree with them, but you just have to be there to love and support them. And you could kind of tell them like, hey, I don't think this is healthy. Or do you not even say that?
You could say that. You could say, "Ooh, I'm a little worried. I hope you're okay with this." I said, we just, but you can't act like a baby and throw tantrums and do those things. You want to keep the lines of communication open, right? Right. So I think the parents need to just chill. Let her make her mistakes. She's an adult,
And does it make a difference if this dude is super rich or not?
You know what? It doesn't matter either way. No. I mean, but you're seeing a lot more relationships like that. I mean, we have a lot of, people we look up online that are, I'm not going to mention any names, that are, big TV people that we watch every day in the news that there's 30 years difference or 25 years difference. And there's a lot of people out there like that. Yeah. And we don't always understand the whys or what, but she's an adult. They need to not, distance. They want to have a relationship with their daughter. Right.
Right. Exactly.
And she might be doing it more because they are pushing.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Jineane says, don't push her away. You just got to ignore it and still be there for your daughter.
Yeah. So the parents need to chill.
Chill. Take a chill pill, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
All right. That was relationship advice with Jineane Ford. This week, we are lucky to have my daughter, Madison, and my future son-in-law, Beckett, joining me. So I thought it would be fun to do a special relationship advice with our first couple, Madison and Beckett. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, all right, here we go. Here's the title. Am I overreacting, or did I just get burrito betrayed. Dun, dun, dun. All right, here's the deal. So I, 28-year-old female, live with my boyfriend, 30-year-old male, and we usually eat dinner together. A few nights ago, I was really looking forward to this massive burrito I had left in the fridge, like I had been thinking about it all day at work. When I got home, it was gone. He ate it. No text, no heads up, just, oh, sorry, I was hungry. I said that was my burrito. And he said we always share food, like it was no big deal. Now, I'm not saying it's grounds for a breakup, but I am saying I slept with an attitude that night. He thinks I'm being dramatic. I think this was a betrayal of trust and lunch boundaries. So is it ever okay to eat your partner's food without asking? Or am I turning this into a burrito battle that doesn't need to be won? What say you two?
I mean, there's definitely been times that Beckett has eaten my leftovers before. And I understand. It is disheartening, especially when it's food that you've been dreaming about. But I think ultimately it's something a conversation couldn't fix. I think I got pretty upset about it once, and we talked about it, and I was like, you at least need to ask, and he's always asked since.
Oh, Beckett, you've made this mistake?
Yes, I have.
What?
And thankfully, Madison was able to, assert her burrito boundaries. And I learned just to send a simple text beforehand and just ask nicely.
What was the dish that you ate?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it was like leftovers. I think it was maybe that chicken katsu curry you made the one night. It was really good.
Oh, Beckett, don't pour more salt in the wound.
I couldn't help myself.
But he learned his lesson. You guys had a good conversation, and you set burrito boundaries.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. That was relationship advice with my daughter, Madison and Beckett, who are getting married this Friday. It is now time for This or That Relationship Edition with the future newlyweds getting married this Friday, Madison and Beckett. Are you two ready?
Yes.
This or that, a romantic date night in or a spontaneous road trip with snacks?
Ooh. I'm a sucker for a romantic date night in, personally.
Well, I think that probably would be more likely to do.
But you want to be opposed to a spontaneous road trip with snacks?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely.
Okay. Doing chores together or assigning them and never speaking of it again?
Doing them together.
Doing them together. Streaming one show together or watching separately to avoid arguments?
Depends on the show.
We do both. There are shows that we watch together, but I watch a lot more TV than Beckett does, so there's lots of shows that I watch on my own.
And Madison has been having to endure so much basketball lately, and the idea of not having any option to herself I think that might end the marriage right there.
All right, and last question, this or that. Google Maps with calm navigation or yelling, "You missed the turn!"
Google Maps.
With calm navigation. Absolutely. That was This or That Relationship Edition with the future newlyweds, Madison and Beckett. I love you guys.
Love you.